With us in studio now is Riggs Eckelberry. Riggs is the CEO of OriginClear. OCLN is their stock symbol. Riggs, welcome back to the show.
Always. Thank you, Don.
Now, we missed you last week. You were at another blockchain convention. How did it go?
Pretty amazingly. You know, this is called D10E, which is the foremost decentralization conference. And really, blockchain is about decentralization. That's what it's about. And so this is really the foremost one in the world that it's staged throughout the year. And this is the first time it happened in Silicon Valley. I got to present, and I have to tell you that people got emotional about the opportunity to do something about water themselves, aside from donating to some project in Africa, which is wonderful. But here in the U.S., we have a decaying infrastructure. People need, next generation water treatment and recycling. And remember, the U.S. only recycles 1% of its water, while the virgin water is getting more expensive.
That's right. I mean, it's become, especially when you talk about California, when the drought was at its peak, people were talking about the bottled water companies that were taking water out of the system.
Sure.
I mean, there was a real controversy.
Now, complacency has taken over, but a lot of people care, and that's what came out of it. And I believe there's going to be perhaps next week we'll be able to show some footage from that.
Great.
Which should be fun.
Now, I know this is kind of a new baby that you're dealing with. I know you have a core business as well. You have earnings to talk about, a lot of things going on.
Yes, WaterChain is a fantastic project, and it's really the latest technology, great leap forward for OriginClear. But we have a core business, and we got some great people in charge of it, and I wanted to report a little bit ahead of time.
Sure.
As you know, our earnings are coming out mid-next month, and what we've had in Texas with our progressive water treatment unit is a real takeoff of business. There was a slowdown around the 2016 election that was really industry-wide, and because of uncertainties and policies and so forth. And there's been since then a recovery where revenues doubled from Q2 to Q3 and then continued to grow in Q4. And now, in this quarter, in the first half of the quarter, we did the entirety of a quarter in purchase orders. Of course, they still have to be confirmed, but the trend is sharply up, and I'm very, very proud of Mark Stevens down in McKinney, Texas, and Bill Charneski, who runs the whole OriginClear group.
Now, primarily when you're talking about these revenues, they're coming from what kind of companies? Is it from the oil industry, or where are these revenues coming from?
Sure. Well, as we know, we have on one side the technology division, which is all about licensing, and then we have an operating division, which treats the problems of clients directly.
Right.
They are large utilities, commercial users of all kinds, some oil and gas. It's very agnostic, and also Progressive is given a mandate to use any technology they want, whatever the client needs, and they're doing extremely well. Now,
are you affected by other factors involving the industries that you're serving? Like, for example, if the price of a barrel of oil goes down, does that affect your business? I mean, how does that all work?
Well, what happened, for example, during the election, there was uncertainty with the utilities that are coal-fired. Oops, is there going to be a problem? And they literally kind of stopped in their tracks. That has been allayed. There's a lot less concern from these. We all want to move off coal, but when people are stuck with it, they need to make business plans. So yes, I think that we're affected by industry, but there's much more interesting things also, which is, for example, there's a big drought in South Africa, right? There's things we can do about that. There's projects in the Middle East. All these things are in the works, unconfirmed as yet, but very, very promising.
Well, you had mentioned on the program previously, Riggs, that overseas they're more adaptable to water technology than they are here locally or domestically, and so you're really concentrating on that as well.
Yes, shorter decision process. There's also, I think, a sense of urgency. People in these areas, there's literally people wasting away and getting ill.
And you mentioned, I want you to reiterate this again because it was so interesting. There are other countries that are recycling much more of their water than we are here. Tell us about that.
Amazing, but of course, the leader is Israel. 80% of its water. They even harvest water from the air. Amazing. One of the reasons why Israel is doing relatively well with its neighbors today is it's supplying water to them. Water is the peace offering, isn't it?
Exactly.
And then we have the second in the world is Spain with 20%, U.S. 1%.
1%.
Come on.
It's amazing.
We're going to change it.
We're going to change it. Once again, OriginClear, OCLN is their stock symbol. Riggs, every time you come in here is something new and exciting. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.